My name is Oliver Simon. I am from New Jersey, and this all started when I'm part of this community service team, sort of, and we go to a senior living home. And when we're at the senior living home, we always talk about events that happened in history, and the elderly, they all tell us about their personal experiences, what they remember on those days. And one of the days we talked about was Kristallnacht. And I raised my hand, and the teacher called on me, and I said that I have a grandfather who was there during Kristallnacht. So he was first confused. He's like, "Is that true? Do you really have it?" Kept on asking me, and I kept on saying yes in many different ways. So, 6 weeks later, I was playing at recess. I'm in sixth grade. I forgot to mention that. And he pulls me over to the side and he says, "Would it be okay if your grandfather were to come speak to the eighth graders about his personal experiences in Germany during that time?" And I said he would love to. So then my mom and him had to work out some details and when he was coming. So basically, he came to the school, he talked to the eighth graders, they loved it, and towards the end, they would say, "And let's thank Dr. Simon for applause." The second he finished, everyone stood up, and there was like 2 to 3 minutes of just clapping. So that was great. So then afterwards, we went back to my house, and we were talking about what my grandfather was talking about, and my grandmother asked me, "Do you want to go to Cologne and see now, since you have some background about it?" And I said I'd love to, and then that's how this all came to be.
All right, I'm going now through, talking through memory of things that occurred many years ago, actually more than 75 years ago. So at that time, I attended first the Moriah School, which was located here, and then the Yavne School, which was the more advanced or the high school. I do remember coming here by trolley in the morning. There was a trolley stop nearby, and after I got off the trolley, I walked here. Now, as I recall, there was a gate that led into the school, and there was a sort of a yard which had room enough for maybe a car or a car and a half, which we used to play soccer before school started or during recess. And I still remember playing soccer in that yard, either before school or sometimes even after school. And then I would go back to, walk back to the trolley stop and take the trolley to go back home. Now, I must admit that I was not a great student anymore at that time. I really didn't have the desire to attend classes, because the thought already was in my mind that we would not be in Germany for a long time, and that the whole schooling that I was going through made no longer the same sense that it did originally. So therefore, I was more concerned with everyday events, how we could escape the anti-Semitic attacks, how I could get home without being attacked by students, and the school subjects in itself were not of that much importance to me anymore. The only subject that I thought was useful to me was they started a course in English, and I started to learn some English. Unfortunately, it was not the English that was spoken in the United States, but it was British English, and the words were somewhat different. And when I arrived in the United States, I realized what I had learned was not understood by the people in America because I spoke with words that sounded like a Cockney English rather than an American.